Hi, I'm Samuel Burke. Welcome to this edition of #WFH. Yet another sign that working from home is becoming a permanent part of our work culture. Google announcing that they'll allow employees to work from home until July of 2021, following in the footsteps of other big tech companies that have made major changes to how their employees do their jobs. But it's not just tech companies. Restaurants have been hit incredibly hard by the pandemic, and so they're also having to adapt to the ever-changing needs and demands of their consumers. On this edition of Work From Home, we're digging in on the food business to see how they're keeping us fed and keeping their companies afloat. Before we get to the main course, my top 3 tips. And this week, it's all about running your business from home. Number 1, outsource jobs. Most home businesses start as a one-person shop, but you don't have to be a jack of all trades. Outsource some of your tasks so that you can free up your time and focus on the core parts of your business. Number 2, invest in marketing. Marketing your business is incredibly important, especially if you're starting off small. So coughing up a few bucks to introduce your product or service to new customers will help grow your business in the long run. Marketing is one area where you need to spend money to make money. And number 3, join groups or communities to spread the word about your product or service. And by joining professional or networking groups in your area, you'll surely learn and enjoy the company of like-minded people. When the coronavirus hit the Philippines, one of the industries that was most affected was the food business. Many restaurant owners had to adapt quickly and innovate. One of those people is celebrity chef JP Anglo, owner of Sarsa. And instead of closing his doors, he figured out a way to reopen them from his home. The chef is with us right now. JP, thanks so much for joining us on #WFH. I just want to get your initial reaction when the government first imposed the national lockdown. What were your first business thoughts as this lockdown went into effect?
To be quite honest, it was day per day basis. Like at the beginning, okay, what's our top 10 dishes on the menu? Let's just sell that. And then after a while, all the emergence of all the home cooks, you easily get forgotten. Every other household sells food from their homes. And then slowly you tend to realize, all right, to be relevant, you got to have something new every week. Then you learn every day. Like Filipinos, we love to eat family style. We love to eat in a bilaho. It's like a round plate where you eat noodles. It's with noodles. Oh, my wife is, what am I saying wrong?
It's a tray.
It's a tray. Okay, basically it's a tray. It's a round tray.
This is the reality of working from home. Your wife, your husband will pop in at any second and start making sure that you're on your A game.
Well, it's just really messy right now, but that's my wife.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
We do private dining every now and then, so we sit 6 to 8 people. And pre-COVID, when the restaurants were closed, we fed 100 frontliners in this kitchen. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
And that's how right now, I guess it helped for us to sort of like know how to operate or navigate through the new normal through feeding the frontliners.
And I'm curious for you, what has it been like for you working from home? Do you find yourself frustrated moments wanting that big kitchen that you're used to back at your restaurants? Is there comfort in making comfort food at home?
I guess it's you value every single thing. Like before, when I used to work in my restaurant, I would use 3 pots. Now I could only use 1 pot. So you're more economical. You're nicer to people. You're nicer to customers. It's like a reset, reboot, refresh kind of thing.
Well, we hear some of the sounds of your kitchen there in the background, and I'm just curious, what's the dynamic like? Have there been challenges? You're working with your wife. Are there times in those close quarters where you've said, okay, I just need some space? What have been some of those obstacles that all of us are facing really as we work from home?
Right now, everyone's just so personal. So she takes in all the orders, and sometimes we'll get calls at like say 11. So it's like you're always on call.
And do you
So I
have
guess
rules
that's
about
the
that? Because that's also hard for me. I work with so many people in so many time zones, and I think, well, I should be asleep now, but someone's awake in the Philippines, someone's awake in LA. So how do you delineate when is your personal time and when's your professional time, or is that just a complete blur?
I think at the end of the day, we got to deliver. I mean, if we promise to give them food, we have to give them food. And if their food, because right now everything is delivery, right? And if their food is not there, then it's, we'll do whatever it takes to get, to get their food.
What's the main message you want to communicate to your fellow entrepreneur, your fellow restaurateur? What's the biggest takeaway that you've had as a business person for somebody who's maybe just going into the business and has faced a major hurdle, is just starting their kitchen at home?
That nothing is going to go back to normal ever again. This is the new normal. We have to adopt. We have to pivot. You can't wait for that vaccine. You got to figure stuff out. You got to be consistent. You got to deliver. I'm a very optimistic person, but some say this is going to be like the leanest Christmas ever. Instead of us having a whole roasted pig on the middle of the table, maybe it's just going to be half a pig now, or maybe it's just going to be the belly part. But then it's our job to make that belly part good.
Celebrity chef JP Anglo, thank you so much for joining us. We're wishing you and your team at Sarsa the best and to stay safe. JP just gave us the perspective of an established restaurateur and chef. Now we're going to hear from a well-known traveler who's had nowhere to go except her kitchen, and she's making magic. We'll have more coming up right here on #WFH. Welcome back to #WFH. Top entrepreneurs are fighters by nature, innovative and resilient. Overcoming difficulties is second nature to them as they bounce back from difficult times. One of these entrepreneurs is Angely Dub. She's the CEO and founder of Access Travel. She's only 29, but she's already been to all 7 continents and nearly 100 countries. But she's had to take a detour from travel during the pandemic and is now packaging Filipino street food as a delivery dish. Angely joins us now. And I just want to go back to the very beginning, right then when you heard the news that you wouldn't be traveling anywhere and you had to figure out how you were going to pay the bills.
In the beginning, I thought it was just going to last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I was just taking a break. Then, oh my God, all of a sudden they were like, okay, extension for another 2 weeks. Another 2 weeks, another month. I was like, okay, now this is getting serious. I need to start thinking of something to do.
So I'm just curious, though, about how this new business started, because it's so different from travel. And really, you say that it all started by accident.
It was actually just me making fun of myself. I was telling my mom, I'm resigning. This is a forced resignation from my company. So please get me a griller. I'm just going to grill outside our house. So I posted on Instagram. It was just a joke. Then people sent me messages like, Angely, can we order for tomorrow? So that's what happened. And now I got connections with my chef friends. So from this street food, we now have smoked meats. We now have a baker. We now have a seafood master. So we expanded in just like less than 2 months. I was able to come up with a menu with the help of my chef friends. So through this business, I was able to help so many families in our community. Through this fun business, I was able to give job to my chef friends who lost their job because of pandemic. So that's the story of Bulilit Kitchen.
So I'm interested, for those people watching and looking to get a paycheck, what did you take from your time as a CEO and founder of a travel company and apply it to this new business that you're doing on the fly? And so you're having to adapt constantly because it's a brand new set of customers for you.
The only thing I'm applying from Access Travel to Bulilit Kitchen is the customer service. So, I think that's the soul of every business. If you have good customer service, then you match it with social media and marketing promotions, you'll make it. You'll make it through.
So you stay laser focused on customer service. So what do you do when you get a bad review, when someone has an experience that's not up to par for you?
Yes, with the bad feedback, like with the food business, I always tell them, like, I'm very honest, I think that's the one thing I'm really proud to say. I don't like become too defensive. I always tell them like, hey, thank you very much for letting us know. From my end, I would like to tell you that it's been just 2 months. So I'm also learning. So rest assured, we'll use your feedback to improve. And thank you for letting us know. So I think in every business, when you learn how to accept your mistakes, it becomes easier. And well, with God's grace, we haven't gotten any serious complaint yet, because I always try to make them feel that their comments are really appreciated.
Well, I'm just wondering if you can show us some of the food that you're cooking, actually, because I'm curious to taste, at least via the screen.
This is chicken feet. Sam, do you want to eat it?
I've been to the Philippines before, and I have to say I actually liked all the cuisine, which might be exotic for this side of the world, but it was so tasty. Oh, what's that?
It's chicken intestine.
You found success in a different way, a different business than you were working in before. What do you see as your future then? Do you think you will do travel and the food business once things go back to some semblance of normal?
I really hope so. They go back to normal. But, I think this business will still push through. So now I'm giving a very good training to my sister. So, she could like take over and manage it if just in case I have to leave when travel goes back to normal.
I think there are a lot of life lessons in what you've been telling us here for all of us to learn from. So Angely Dub, thank you so much for showing us some of the tastes of your home that so many people around you are enjoying. And we wish you the best of luck getting back into the skies, but also keeping your feet on the ground. We've had very distinct perspectives from two different entrepreneurs on this program, but the very clear message from today's show is that without a doubt, it's not just enough to adapt your business model or move into an entirely new business. You have to constantly, on a daily basis, be willing to change what you're doing to adapt to the times in which we're living. That's it for this edition of #WFH. The team and I are wishing your family and friends health and safety, and we'll see you right back here on our next edition.